The Lockheed Hudson was an American-built light bomber and coastal reconnaissance aircraft built initially for the Royal Air Force shortly before the outbreak of the Second World War and primarily operated by the RAF thereafter. The Hudson was the first significant aircraft construction contract for the Lockheed Aircraft Corporation. The initial RAF order for 200 Hudsons far surpassed any previous order the company had received. The Hudson served throughout the war, mainly with coastal command but also in transport and training roles as well as delivering agents into occupied France. They were also used extensively with the Royal Canadian Air Force's anti-submarine squadrons and by the Royal Australian Air Force. Design and development. In late 1937, Lockheed sent a cutaway drawing of the Model 14 to various publications, showing the new aircraft as a civilian aircraft and converted to a light bomber. This attracted the interest of various air forces, and in 1938, the British Purchasing Commission sought an American maritime patrol aircraft for the United Kingdom to support the Avro Anson. On December 10, 1938, Lockheed demonstrated a modified version of the Lockheed Model 14 Super Electra commercial airliner, which swiftly went into production as the Hudson Mki. A total of 350 Mki and 20 Mk2 Hudsons were supplied. The Mk2 had different propellers. These had 2 fixed Browning machine guns in the nose and 2 more in the Boulton-Paul dorsal turret. The Hudson Mk3 added 1 ventral and 2 beam machine guns and replaced the 1100 HP Wright Cyclone 9-cylinder radials with 1200 HP versions, 428 produced. The Hudson Mkv, 309 produced, and Mk6, 450 produced, were powered by the 1200 HP Pratt & Whitney Twin Wasp 14-cylinder 2-row radial. The RAF also obtained 380 Mk3A and 30 Mk4 Hudsons under the Lend-Lease program. Operational history. World War II. By February 1939, RAF Hudsons began to be delivered, initially equipping No. 224 Squadron RAF at RAF Lookers, Scotland in May 1939. By the start of the war in September, 78 Hudsons were in service. Due to the United States neutrality at that time, early series aircraft were flown to the Canada-US border, landed, and then towed on their wheels over the border into Canada by tractors or horse-drawn teams, before then being flown to Royal Canadian Air Force, RCAF, airfields where they were then dismantled and cocooned for transport as deck cargo, by ship to Liverpool. The Hudsons were supplied without the Boulton-Paul dorsal turret, which was installed on arrival in the United Kingdom. Although later outclassed by larger bombers, the Hudson achieved some significant feats during the first half of the war. On October 8, 1939, over Jutland, a Hudson became the first Allied aircraft operating from the British Isles to shoot down an enemy aircraft. Earlier victories by a ferry battle on September 20, 1939 over Aachen and by Blackburn skuas of the Fleet Air Arm on September 26, 1939 had been by aircraft based in France or on an aircraft carrier. Hudsons also provided top cover during the Battle of Dunkirk. On August 27, 1941, a Hudson of No. 269 Squadron RAF, operating from Caldedarns, Iceland, attacked and damaged the German submarine U-570, causing the submarine's crew to display a white flag and surrender. The aircraft achieved the unusual distinction of capturing a naval vessel. The Germans were taken prisoner and the submarine taken under tow when Royal Navy ships subsequently arrived on the scene. A PBO-1 Hudson of the United States Navy Squadron VP-82 became the first U.S. aircraft to destroy a German submarine, when it sank U-656 southwest of Newfoundland on March 1, 1942. U-701 was destroyed on July 7, 1942 while running on the surface off Cape Hatteras by a Hudson of the 396th Bombardment Squadron, medium, United States Army Air Forces, USAF. A Hudson of No. 113 Squadron RCAF became the first aircraft of the RCAF's Eastern Air Command to sink a submarine, when Hudson 625 sank U-754 on July 31, 1942. A Royal Australian Air Force, RAF, Hudson was involved in the Canberra air disaster of 1940, in which 3 ministers of the Australian government were killed. In 1941, the USAF began operating the Hudson. The twin Wasp-powered variant was designated the A-28, 82 acquired, and the Cyclone-powered variant was designated the A-29, 418 acquired. The U.S. Navy operated 20 A-28s, redesignated the PBO-1. A further 300 were built as aircrew trainers, designated the AT-18. Following Japanese attacks on Malaya, Hudsons from No. 1 Squadron RAF became the first Allied aircraft to make an attack in the Pacific War, sinking a Japanese transport ship, the Awazazan Maru, off Kota Baru at 0118H local time, an hour before the attack on Pearl Harbor. Its opponents found that the Hudson had exceptional maneuverability for a twin-engine aircraft. It was notable for the tight turns achievable if either engine was briefly feathered. The highest-scoring Japanese ace of the war, Saber Sakai, praised the skill and fighting abilities of an RAF Hudson crew killed in action over New Guinea after being engaged by 9 highly maneuverable Mitsubishi A6M0s on July 22, 1942. The crew, captained by P.A. Warren Cowan, in Hudson Mk3A A16201, BU No 41 to 36,979, of No. 32 Squadron RAF, was intercepted over Buna by 9 Zeros of the Tainan Kaigun Ktai led by Sakai. The Hudson crew accomplished many aggressive and unexpected turns, engaging the Japanese pilots in a dogfight for more than 10 minutes. It was only after Sakai scored hits on the rear/upper turret that the Hudson could be destroyed. Its crew made such an impression on Sakai that, after the war's end, he sought to identify them. In 1997, Sakai wrote formally to the Australian government, recommending that Cowan be posthumously awarded your country's highest military decoration. On November 23, 1942, the crew of a No. 3 Squadron, Royal New Zealand Air Force, RNZF, Hudson Mk3A, NZ2049, 41 to 46,465, after spotting an enemy convoy near Vella La Vella, was engaged by 3 Japanese floatplane fighters. After skilled evasive maneuvering at an altitude of less than 50 feet, 15 meters, by the Hudson's captain, Flying Officer George Goodsell, the crew returned with no casualties to Henderson Field, Guadalcanal. Hudsons were also operated by RAF Special Duties Squadrons for clandestine operations, No. 161 Squadron in Europe and No. 357 Squadron in Burma. Post-war. Post-war, numbers of Hudsons were sold by the military for civil operation as airliners and survey aircraft. In Australia, East West Airlines of Tamworth, New South Wales, NSW, operated 4 Hudsons on scheduled services from Tamworth to many towns in NSW and Queensland between 1950 and 1955. Adastra Aerial Surveys based at Sydney's Mascot Airport operated 7 L414s between 1950 and 1972 on air taxi, survey, and photographic flights. A total of 2,941 Hudsons were built. The type formed the basis for development of the Lockheed Ventura, resulting in them being withdrawn from frontline service from 1944, though many survived the war to be used as civil transports, primarily in Australia, and a single example was briefly used as an airline crew trainer in New Zealand. Variants. Model 414. Company designation for the military A28/A29 and Hudson variants. Hudson I. Production aircraft for the Royal Air Force, RAF, 351 built and 50 for the Royal Australian Air Force, RAF. Hudson II. As the Mki but with spinnerless constant speed propellers, 20 built for the RAF and 50 for the RAF. Hudson III. Production aircraft with retractable ventral gun position, 428 built. Hudson IIIA. Lend-Lease variants of the A29 and A29A aircraft, 800 built. Hudson IV. As Mk2 with ventral gun removed, 30 built and RAF Mki and IIS were converted to this standard. Hudson EVA. 52 A28s delivered to the RAF. Hudson V. Mk3 with two 1,200 HP, 890 kilowatts, Pratt & Whitney R1830S3C4G twin Wasp engines, 409 built. Hudson 6. A28 is under Lend-Lease, 450 built. A28. U.S. military powered by two 1050 HP, 780 kilowatts, R1830-45 engines, 52 delivered to Australia as Hudson EVA. A28A. A28 with convertible interiors as troop transports, 450 delivered to RAF as Hudson 6, 27 units passed to the Brazilian Air Force. A29. A28 powered by two 1200 HP, 890 kilowatts, R1830-87 engines, 416 built for the RAF, 153 diverted to United States Army Air Forces, USAF, as the RA-29 and 20 to the United States Navy, USN, as the PBO-1. A29A. A29 with convertible interiors as troop transports, 384 to the RAF as Hudson 3A, some retained by USAF as the RA-29A. A29B. 24 repossessed A29s converted for photo survey. At 18. Gunnery trainer version of the A29 powered by two R1820-87 engines, 217 built. At 18A. Navigational trainer version with dorsal turret removed, 83 built. C63. Provisional designation changed to A29A. PBO-1. 20 former RAF Hudson 3As repossessed for use by Patrol Squadron 82, VP-82, of the USN. Operators. Australia. Royal Australian Air Force. Squadrons serving in the Pacific War. Number 1 Squadron RAF. Number 2 Squadron RAF. Number 6 Squadron RAF. Number 7 Squadron RAF. Number 8 Squadron RAF. Number 13 Squadron RAF. Number 14 Squadron RAF. Number 23 Squadron RAF. Number 24 Squadron RAF. Number 32 Squadron RAF. Number 1 Operational Training Unit RAF. Article 15 Squadrons serving with RAF Middle East Command. Number 459 Squadron RAF. Brazil. Brazilian Air Force. 2nd Medium Bomber Group, 27 units A28A. Canada. Royal Canadian Air Force. Squadrons serving with the Home War Establishment, HWE. Number 11 Squadron RCAF. Number 113 Squadron RCAF. Number 119 Squadron RCAF. Number 120 Squadron RCAF. Number 145 Squadron RCAF. Article 15 Squadrons serving with RAF Coastal Command. Number 407 Squadron RCAF. China. Chinese Nationalist Air Force. Ireland. Irish Air Corps. Israel. Israeli Air Force. Netherlands. Royal Netherlands Air Force. Number 320 Squadron RAF. New Zealand. Royal New Zealand Air Force. Number 1 Squadron RNZF. Number 2 Squadron RNZF. Number 3 Squadron RNZF. Number 4 Squadron RNZF. Number 9 Squadron RNZF. Number 40 Squadron RNZF. Number 41 Squadron RNZF. Number 42 Squadron RNZF. Portugal. Portugal Air Force. South Africa. South African Air Force. United Kingdom. Royal Air Force. Number 24 Squadron RAF. Number 48 Squadron RAF. Number 53 Squadron RAF. Number 59 Squadron RAF. Number 62 Squadron RAF. Number 117 Squadron RAF. Number 139 Squadron RAF. Number 161 Squadron RAF. Number 163 Squadron RAF. Number 194 Squadron RAF. Number 200 Squadron RAF. Number 203 Squadron RAF. Number 206 Squadron RAF. Number 212 Squadron RAF. Number 217 Squadron RAF. Number 220 Squadron RAF. Number 224 Squadron RAF. Number 231 Squadron RAF. Number 233 Squadron RAF. Number 251 Squadron RAF. Number 267 Squadron RAF. Number 269 Squadron RAF. Number 271 Squadron RAF. Number 279 Squadron RAF. Number 285 Squadron RAF. Number 287 Squadron RAF. Number 288 Squadron RAF. Number 289 Squadron RAF. Number 353 Squadron RAF. Number 357 Squadron RAF. Number 500 Squadron RAF. Number 517 Squadron RAF. Number 519 Squadron RAF. Number 520 Squadron RAF. Number 521 Squadron RAF. Number 608 Squadron RAF. Communication Flight Iraq and Persia. Royal Navy Fleet Air Arm. 4 aircraft from Royal Air Force. United States. Sperry Gyroscope. United States Army Air Forces. United States Navy. Civil Operators. Australia. East West Airlines. Adastra Air Surveys. Portugal. TAP Transportes Aéreos Portugueses. Trinidad and Tobago. British West Indian Airways. United Kingdom. BOAC British Overseas Airways Corporation. Surviving aircraft. Civil operators. Australia. East West Airlines. Adastra Air Surveys. Portugal. TAP Transportes Aéreos Portugueses. Trinidad and Tobago. British West Indian Airways. United Kingdom. BOAC British Overseas Airways Corporation. Surviving aircraft. General characteristics. Crew, 6. Length, 44 feet 4 in, 13.51 m. Wingspan, 65 feet 6 in, 19.96 m. Height, 11 feet 10 in, 3.62 m. Wing area, 551 sq fort, 51.2 square meters. Empty weight, 12,000 pounds, 5,400 kilograms. Loaded weight, 17,500 pounds, 7,930 kilograms. Max takeoff weight, 18,500 pounds, 8,390 kilograms. Power plant, 2 times Wright Cyclone 9-cylinder radial engines, 1,100 HP, 820 kilowatts, each. Performance. Maximum speed, 218 kT, 246 miles per hour, 397 km per hour. Range, 1,700 nmi, 1,960 miles, 3,150 km. Service ceiling, 24,500 feet, 7,470 m. Rate of climb, 1,200 feet/min, 6.2 m/s. Armament. Guns. 2 times .303 in, 7.7 mm, Browning machine guns in dorsal turret. 2 times .303 Browning machine guns in nose. Bombs, 750 pounds, 340 kilograms, of bombs or depth charges. Notable appearances in media. In the 1941 film A Yank in the RAF with Tyrone Power and Betty Grable, Lockheed Hudsons are the bombers flown by Power and his squadron. A. Hudson appears in Backroom Boy, 1941. The Lockheed Hudson features prominently in The Captains of the Clouds, 1942. The film starred James Cagney and Dennis Morgan as Canadian bush pilots who do their part in the Second World War as ferry pilots, bringing Hudsons to Britain. The film ends with a depiction of a Hudson ferry flight that mixes authentic live action with studio footage. Lockheed Hudsons make an appearance in the movie Aerial Gunner, 1943. A Story of Two Men at Harlingen, TX, Aerial Gunnery School. Above and Beyond, 2006, a Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, CBC, 4-hour mini-series, was inspired by the true story of the Atlantic Ferry Organization, recounting the daring plan to deliver aircraft across the North Atlantic to the beleaguered Royal Air Force. The Lockheed Hudson is the primary aircraft portrayed in the mini-series in the form of a real-life example from the North Atlantic Aviation Museum in Gander, supplemented with numerous CGI Hudsons. A demilitarized Hudson is flown by Humphrey Bogart's character in Tokyo Joe, 1949. Bogart played an ex-World War II pilot attempting to operate a cargo airline in occupied Japan. The Hudson is identifiable by the turret platform at the rear of the fuselage, and by the numerous windows in the cockpit area. The Lockheed Hudson was featured in the movie The Great Raid as a distraction to Japanese soldiers, although in the real event, a P-61 Black Widow was used. The Hudson was used instead because there were no airworthy Black Widows at the time of the movie's filming. Role bomber, reconnaissance, transport, maritime patrol aircraft. Manufacturer Lockheed. Designer Clarence Kelly Johnson. First flight December 10, 1938. Introduction 1939. Primary users Royal Air Force, Royal Canadian Air Force, Royal Australian Air Force, United States Army Air Forces. Produced 1938-1943. Number built 2941. Developed from Lockheed Model 14 Super Electra.
Please subscribe and thanks for watching.